Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today I'm going to be going over what is personally one of my brand new favorite production tricks. This is something you might not really think to do. It's kind of like a hidden functionality in another plugin that's like super unassuming, and I came across this last night and just knew I had to share it because it's really cool. We're going to be demoing that in this video. Of course, if it does help you out, don't forget to drop a like on it and subscribe to stay up to date with more music production content. But we're not going to waste any time here. We're going to jump straight into this because this is a really nice technique and I'm sure you're going to want to use it. So of course, before I show that, we are going to need something to show it on. And I think the best kind of sound I can go for here to be able to do that is a piano. So I'm going to go ahead and drag in one here. Don't really got to change too much because we'll just get like any random tone here. And I'm just going to turn on my MIDI keyboard and go ahead and play a quick little chord progression. So that way we have something to add effects to. Something very simple. It's not really inspiring, but it's enough to demonstrate what we're going to be doing here. I'm just going to modify this a little bit, make it a little more interesting in post before we begin. Okay, so we just made a couple of small edits. We repositioned some notes so everything's a little more on grid and changed the key. Sounds like this right now on its own. Right, so now it's time to get into this production technique I've been talking about. So what you're going to open actually, and this is nice because it's a stock plugin included in FL Studio for free, you're going to open up Fruity Delay 3. Now, we're not actually going to be using this as a delay, that's the interesting part. We're going to be getting, like, as I say, this additional sort of functionality out of it, which is really exciting. So the way you do this, the way you get started, you go to this presets button at the top, and this is where you get like a whole bunch of different options to be able to like choose different things to get started with. Like there's chorus, ping pong, there's a resonator in here. We're actually going to go ahead and click on tape. Now at default, it's going to sound like this. You see, this has done some cool things to the sound, but right now it's still a delay. The technique actually comes from taking the delay time, which you could see here on the left, and turning that all the way down. Now, the best way I could describe to kind of explain what this does, this basically gets rid of the delay functionality of Fruity Delay 3, and instead it basically turns into an effects plugin. I saw it described as kind of like a RC20 clone in a way, and if you don't know what that plugin is, it's really good for lo-fi, because it has a whole bunch of really cool effects to just sort of dirty up your sound in an intentional way. But of course that costs money, and if you do it like this, you now have a lot of control to get very similar results, and I'm going to take you through that and kind of show what's possible. So first off, let's give it a listen right now with the delay time turned all the way down. So you see it's got some really weird effects going on, but as I say, the delay is no longer active. This is just kind of in real time here. And now we could just mess with all of these different knobs and see what we like. We could adjust the feedback, change diffusion, modulation. Really, I'm just gonna try going through each one and just seeing what it does and demoing the ones that are good. So obviously, this is the rate of that modulation. If you put it up all the way, it's gonna sound bad. Like do a little like this. And of course, you could also dry wet this plugin as a whole. Right now, it's on 100%, so the effect is going to be fully wet. But we could change that if we come up with something good later and we want to bring the dry signal back in. So let's keep going. I think this, on a guitar specifically, would sound really good. Actually, I know this like wasn't part of the video. I just want to give that a try. I don't have my guitar in, so I'm just going to throw in a MIDI one. But I'm curious because I think that would sound really cool. Let's just throw in a random guitar from FL. How's this sound on its own first? Okay, not that one. Grab, maybe jazz. Yeah, so on its own it sounds like this. We're gonna put that on the same mixer though. And see how this sounds. Yeah, that sounds really cool. It's actually playing with our piano right now. I didn't mean to do that, but it sounded really nice on its own. I like it with both. That's a really cool tone, and that's something we just achieved, you know, kind of by accident, just messing with a random knob under here. Let's keep going, though. Give some saturation. Crunch it a bit. Something about that sounds like very Eden in a way. I like that. That's weird. Keep going. You see, you could just get like really glitchy tones out of this, and it's super interesting. Like, the possibilities are completely endless here. You can, of course, go through different presets on this delay plugin as well. Like, they have the resonator one. It's just this menu's kind of out of the way. You don't really think to do it, but this plugin is super capable. You could do a lot of really cool things with it. Something I really like. We get this going again. I like to use this as a bass, but yes, it does have some stereo information, but I think it's still a bit closed. And of course, you're not limited. You don't only have to use this one plugin. From this point, once we have like a texture we like, so I've got one now and I quite like it, we could go with adding additional effects to, you know, bring out what we want to bring out, control it a bit. So I'm thinking first off disperser. Disperser makes everything really cool. I like throwing it on things usually before a compressor or so. But I think this sound specifically we could do with some additional stereo. We're going to throw on a dimension expander just to make it a little wider. Maybe some reverb as well. I'm curious how this reacts to OTT. Actually, it's kind of cool. But you see, right now we've done this with the piano, and we've done it with that guitar kind of layered at the same time. But, you know, you could do this with anything. You could do this with one-shots. I'm actually going to demo it just on, like, a saw straight out of Serum, just because I'm curious. That's actually really cool. And you see, that's just, you know, you open Serum. This is the default saw. I didn't do a thing to it. We could, like, mess with Unison. Actually kind of liked it more as one, but mess with octaves. It's really cool because, as I say, this is a lot like RC20. It's also a lot like Serum Effects in a way. And those are plugins that, you know, both of them you have to pay for. You can't get those for free. But with using this delay setting, you could literally just use Fruity Delay 3. And honestly, Fruity Delay 3 is super capable. I find myself reaching for Delay 2 a lot, just because it's like a more familiar interface to me. And I haven't really messed too much with 3. So I didn't really know how to go about doing much yet. But after learning this technique, I really think I'm going to start using Delay 3 all the time. This is so fun to just really throw on anything. I also want to see how it is on like a bass sound. So what I'm going to do is actually just get rid of everything that isn't a bass note here. That's a cool texture. Like, the way I would set this up, because I don't want my fundamental to be super affected by things, I'd probably cut the, you know, sub-octave out of this, so it's like this. And then, we'll actually just do this here really quick, because it's very easy to show. Copy and paste your melody onto a new instance of Serum, and this one is not going to go into that effects chain. And this will just be, you know, our sine wave, dedicated sub. So just draw in something, I don't know, and... see, now you have good bass, and then the higher portion is affected by that delay plugin, so it's not actually affecting your sub, and that's good. That's what you want. That's how I'd go about setting that up. So, you know, in this video, we've shown how it is on a piano, a guitar, straight up saw wave, and like a bass sound as well. So you could use this, as I say, wherever you want. I'm curious what you get out of this technique. Let me know in the comments section below. How do you find it? Let me know if you come up with any crazy ones to use on your own, but that is going to wrap us up here. I hope you enjoyed this production technique. I definitely wanted to share this with you guys because I think this one's really cool. But again, let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to drop a like on it. That does help me out. And subscribe and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with more production tutorials like this in the future. But that does wrap us up here. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.